caramelized onions and a rich beefy broth smothered in a mountain of creamy nutty Gruyere cheese. I'm Tess, and tonight I'm making a classic French onion soup. Stay tuned. When I think of a rich, elegant soup, one of the soups that come to mind is French onion soup. It is a classic soup that can be served as an appetizer, but rich and comforting enough that it can be a meal. There are only a few ingredients, but it does take some time and patience to make. Still, you can have this delicious French onion soup ready in 1 hour. First, the croutons. You can use a slice of toasted French bread, or tonight I'm using some leftover rolls to make bite-sized croutons. I cube the rolls into 1-inch pieces and season simply with a little salt and black pepper. The toasted croutons are going to act as a sponge for the rich beefy onion broth and a platform for the gooey cheese. Drizzling with a little extra virgin olive oil and giving the bread cubes a good toss. Spreading evenly on a baking pan and baking at 350 degrees for 20 to 25 minutes or until the bread cubes are dry and golden brown. Give them a toss a couple times during the baking so they bake evenly. I will have plenty of croutons left over, and I can use them in my salads. We are ready to start the soup. First, we need to caramelize the onions. In my pot on medium heat, I'm adding in 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil and 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Letting that melt, and then I'm adding in my 6 large sliced yellow onions. Yes, that is a lot of onions, but you will see they will cook down to about a cup of onions. As the onions slowly cook, they will release their sugars and caramelize, producing a nice, sweet, rich flavor. I'm starting my heat at a 6 on my electric stove. As the onions cook, I will slowly decrease that heat down to a 4. You will need to be patient with this process, and it's going to take about 20 to 30 minutes. About 10 minutes into the cooking, I'm adding a half a teaspoon of sugar, and this is going to help with the caramelizing. As the liquid decreases, you will see the bottom starting to form some brown fond and caramel. Keep stirring and scraping the bottom. You don't want the onions to burn. See that beautiful color? And you can see the onions have really reduced in volume. That is a lot of flavor right there. Adding in 2 cloves of minced garlic, stirring and cooking for another minute. You don't want too much garlic, just a little hint in the background. To help deglaze the pan, I have a half a cup of sherry, and this will help add some of that classic French onion soup flavor. Giving that a good stir and scraping the bottom. I'm using a total of 6 cups of my homemade beef broth. Giving that a stir, and I'm turning my heat up to bring this up to a simmer. The key to a good French onion soup is a good beef broth. I'm using my homemade beef broth, but if you're using a boxed or canned broth, make sure you choose a low sodium so you can control the salt level. You can also boost the beef flavor with a beef bouillon, but again, just be careful of the salt content. I'm adding in a pinch of salt, about 1/8 of a teaspoon of black pepper, and a bay leaf. Stirring, bringing this up to a simmer, and cooking for 15 to 20 minutes. After the soup is done, turn off the heat and remove the bay leaf. This recipe will make 3 to 4 nice meal-sized bowls of French onion soup. Filling each bowl 3/4 of the way with that rich beefy onion soup. Topping with a layer of toasted croutons. Giving a good sprinkling of that grated Gruyere cheese on top. I'm popping these under the broiler for a minute or 2, or until the cheese melts and is nice and bubbly. You can also get a nice browning on the top if you wish. A good Gruyere cheese is not cheap, but well worth it. This 8-ounce block was $10. Gruyere cheese is a type of Swiss cheese with a salty, nutty flavor, and it melts beautifully. The soup is done and it smells so good. Garnishing with a little parsley. This classic French onion soup is so delicious and comforting. Every bite is so good. With a side salad, this is a meal. What more can I say? You need to make this French onion soup recipe to enjoy the experience. Enjoy! If you like this video recipe, please hit the like and subscribe button. Remember to hit the bell next to the subscribe to make sure that you get my future video recipes. You can also find me on Facebook and at my website. Feel free to share this recipe and my channel with your friends and family. And until next time, much love!